Zeus versus Typhon. When the Titan War ended, Olympus stood in triumph, but victory came with a curse. Deep beneath the ashes of defeat, Gaia, enraged by the fall of her Titan children, gave birth to something far more terrible. From the depths of Tartarus rose Typhon, a storm made flesh, the final weapon of the earth itself. He towered beyond mountains, with 100 serpent heads spewing fire and venom. Each one spoke with a different voice, cursing the gods above. His wings blotted out the sun, and his eyes burned brighter than Zeus's own lightning. When Typhon reached Olympus, the gods panicked. Many fled to Egypt, disguising themselves as animals to escape his wrath. Only Zeus remained, thunder in hand, facing the storm head-on. Their clash shattered the heavens. Thunder met flame, seas boiled, the ground split open. For a moment, Zeus faltered. Typhon's coils wrapped around him, tearing away his tendons and sealing his thunderbolts in a cave. But with help from Hermes and Pan, Zeus broke free, reclaiming his power and striking back. With one final bolt, he cast Typhon beneath Mount Etna, trapping him beneath the burning earth. Yet the volcano's smoke still rises, a warning that the war between gods and monsters never truly ends. Odin versus Fenrir. In the cold shadow of prophecy, even gods trembled. Long before Ragnarok, the All-Father knew his end had a name. Fenrir, the monstrous wolf born of Loki's blood. The gods tried to chain him while he was young, first with iron, then with stone, and finally with Gleipnir, a ribbon woven from impossible things. The sound of a cat's footsteps, a woman's beard, the roots of a mountain, a fish's breath, and a bird's spittle. Only that could hold him. But even bound, Fenrir's rage grew with every passing age. When Ragnarok came, the chains snapped like thread, the skies darkened, the earth cracked, and the wolf that devoured gods broke free. Odin rode out to meet him, spear in hand, knowing the prophecy could not be undone. In a single, blinding moment, Fenrir leapt, jaws wide enough to swallow the sun. The king of Asgard vanished into the darkness, fulfilling the fate he'd foreseen. Yet from Odin's fall came vengeance. His son Vidar, silent and relentless, tore the wolf apart, ending the cycle with blood and silence. Indra versus Vritra. Before the age of men, the world was drowning in drought. The great serpent Vritra had coiled himself around the rivers of the earth, sealing them away and smothering the skies in silence. Even the gods grew desperate, for without water, creation itself began to fade. Then came Indra, armed with the thunderbolt forged by the divine craftsman Tvashta. With every step, the storm followed him, clouds gathering, winds screaming, lightning answering his call. Vritra rose to meet him, vast as the horizon, swallowing light itself. But Indra struck with the fury of 1,000 storms. When the thunderbolt pierced the serpent's skull, the skies broke open, and the rivers roared free once more. From that day, every storm became a reminder that order, however fragile, is always born from the chaos it destroys. Amaterasu versus Susanoo. High above the mortal realm, harmony once ruled. But even in heaven, chaos has a name. Susanoo, god of storms and seas. His sister, Amaterasu, goddess of the sun, brought light and order to the world. Together they were meant to balance heaven and earth. But Susanoo's defiance burned brighter than any lightning. Cast out of heaven for his violent temper, he returned only to challenge his sister one last time, to prove his power or be destroyed. Their contest began with ritual, but ended in ruin. Susanoo rampaged through the heavens, tearing down Amaterasu's sacred fields and hurling a flayed horse into her weaving hall. Horrified, the sun goddess withdrew into a cave, sealing herself away. The world fell into shadow. Poseidon versus Athena. Before Athens rose into legend, it was nothing but coastline and dust, a nameless land awaiting a protector. From the sea rose Poseidon, god of tides and storms, claiming dominion over all waters and the hearts of sailors. From the clouds descended Athena, goddess of wisdom and strategy, calm but unyielding. Each offered a gift to earn the people's devotion. Poseidon drove his trident into the rock, and a spring burst forth, wild, powerful, and eternal. But its water ran with salt tasting of the restless sea. Then Athena stepped forward and planted a single olive branch. From it grew the first olive tree, promising food, oil, and wood, a symbol of peace and endurance. The gods of Olympus gathered in judgment. Zeus himself weighed their gifts, declaring Athena's the greater. Her wisdom had given humanity the means to build, not destroy. Enraged, Poseidon struck the ground, flooding the plains and shattering the coast. Yet even through the waves, the olive tree stood firm, roots deep, branches unbroken. Athenians built their city in her name, crowning the Acropolis with temples of white stone. But they never forgot the sea's fury. Every earthquake, every tempest that lashed the shore, they said, was Poseidon's vengeance, a god's wounded pride echoing through eternity. Their rivalry became the soul of Greece itself, power and wisdom, storm and silence, forever bound in balance. Anu versus Tiamat. Before the heavens had names, there was only silence, and in that silence moved Tiamat the endless sea. From her waters came the first gods, and with them, rebellion. They conspired to shape the universe, disturbing the stillness of their mother's depths. Enraged, Tiamat rose against her own children. Her fury became creation's first storm. She birthed an army of monsters, dragons, serpents, and spirits of chaos to reclaim what had been stolen from her. Against her stood Anu, the sky god, ruler of the heavens, wielding the power of wind and storm. But even Anu faltered before her. Tiamat's body was the ocean itself, her roar, the thunder of existence. When his strength failed, he passed his weapon the winds to Marduk. His heir, with divine precision, Marduk split Tiamat in two. From her upper half, he made the heavens, from the lower, the earth. Her defeat was not destruction, but transformation. Chaos turned into structure, silence into song. Every wave that crashes upon the shore, they say, still carries her voice, the memory of a goddess who became the world itself. Shiva versus Andhaka. From shadow came the demon Andhaka, born when a drop of Shiva's sweat touched the earth. Blind and hungry for power, Andhaka grew into a tyrant who coveted Parvati, Shiva's own consort. When she refused him, he raised an army of darkness against the heavens themselves. The battle shook the mountains. Shiva stood alone at the front, his third eye blazing like the heart of a star. Every drop of Andhaka's blood that fell to the ground birthed another demon, forcing Shiva to strike faster, fiercer, until the air itself burned. Finally, with a spear of divine fire, he pierced Andhaka through, not destroying him, but purifying him. From that moment, the shadow of Shiva became his devotee, proof that even darkness can kneel before light. Surtr versus the gods. When the final winter, Fimbulwinter, loosened its icy grip, the sky itself began to fracture. From the realm of fire, Muspelheim, came Surtur, the blackened giant whose sword shone like a second sun. He had waited since the dawn of time, guarding the borders of the cosmos until the moment when flame would reclaim all things. When Ragnarok began, Surtur's steps ignited the horizon. The Rainbow Bridge, Bifrost, shattered under his army's march, raining fire upon Asgard. The gods rode to war, not for victory, but for honor. Odin faced Fenrir. Thor battled Jörmungandr. And Freyr, the god of harvest and peace, stood alone before Surtur. Weaponless, his sacred sword long given away in a moment of love. Their clash was brief, brutal, and destined. Surtur's flame tore through Freyr and the plains alike, devouring the world he once nurtured. Across the battlefield, divine blood turned to steam. Mountains split, oceans boiled, and the roots of Yggdrasil shuddered in agony. When it was done, Surtur raised his blade high and cast fire across all creation. The heavens burned, the earth crumbled, and the seas swallowed what remained. Yet from that silence, green shoots rose again, the first breath of a new world. Because in Norse myth, even apocalypse is a beginning, and Surtur's fire, meant to end everything, instead lit the dawn of creation once more.